What's going on, everyone? Robert from Bridging Geeks here, and this short little episode here is going to be me just reviewing Kevin Smith's newest television show, Hollyweed. Now, for those of you who have listened to the podcast before or have ever known me, you know I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. He's the whole reason why I podcast. He's the whole reason why I've been doing a lot of stuff through life that I'm doing. I gotta look up to him. I think he's an inspiration for a generation, really. And, I look forward to anything that he comes out with. And sometimes it's hit, sometimes it's a miss. But that's the beauty of Kevin Smith. Sometimes he just puts it all out on the line. You know, he does something different. He does what he wants to do. And whether people like it or not, he just rolls with the punches. And I think that's, very admirable, especially in today's day when, people get so butthurt over every little thing that doesn't go their way. Kevin Smith just rolls with the punches, and he just keeps moving forward and doing what he likes. And like I said, he's had some hits, he's had some misses, but I tell you what, he just keeps going. He just keeps going. Now, before I get into it, I do want to say, I apologize. My voice is kind of weird today. I've been under the weather the last few days, which is why we didn't have a full Bridging the Geekdoms podcast earlier this week. But I wanted to do this because I literally just got done watching the pilot episode of Hollyweed. Now, if you don't know much about it, basically, it was a show that he and a bunch of people created back in 2016. It looks like it was directed, at least the pilot was directed by Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith also wrote it. Now, the basis of the show, and this is going to take the plot summary right off of IMDb. Two potheads battle a neighboring cookie magnate and enlist the help of charming porn star to help them navigate the ups and downs of managing a small business and their quest for profits and the perfect bud. That's not really what the pilot is at all, so I don't know if that was going to be something different. Not really sure. That's straight from IMDb. Basically, what I saw from the show was you have two store owners. One is played by Kevin Smith, and the other one is Donnell Rawlings, and they run a medical marijuana dispensary in L.A. That's pretty much all you need to know. That's kind of how the show's going to go. Kevin Smith likes to try and call it that it's clerks in a pot store. That's pretty much how he's talking about it. And obviously, you get your regulars popping up in it. Jason Mewes does make a little his presence known in the show, in the pilot. Just a short little part. He doesn't play Jason Mewes. He does play a character. Very Jason Mewes-esque, though. Ralph Garman pops up at one point. But surprisingly, Adam Brody was in it, which was completely unexpected to see Adam Brody in it. And then an actress named Frankie Shaw. She plays a porn star, and kind of the main catalyst of what happens in the pilot episode. But essentially, I watched the episode. It's 25 minutes. It's free on Rivet TV. Now, what they're doing is they film this, and they're trying to get this show picked up. Now, they filmed the pilot episode. They went around the networks back in 2016. Nobody wanted it. No network wanted it. So they kind of just were like, okay, we'll move on from there. And I guess it's not going to happen. I mean, that happens. Pilots are shot all the time and not picked up, and people move on, and you never hear about it again. Or you might find the pilot on the dark web, or I don't know, I'm just kind of making stuff up here. But sometimes you can find them, like if you go to Comic-Cons and stuff like that, sometimes you'll find pilot episodes and people will somehow bootleg them and get them and sell them. So I was figuring that was eventually going to happen with Hollyweed, because again, I was interested in seeing it, but since nobody picked it up, I was like, well, I don't know, I'm going to see it. So what happened is, I guess, Rivet TV is kind of like a crowdfunding TV website of some sort. Essentially what they do is they give you the show, whether it's a pilot or a trailer or something, they'll give it to you, and the fans, the viewers, will get to pledge X amount of money for the show to get made. So in this case, it looks like they have to raise, like, I don't know, I'm not on this site anymore, so I can't see it. But they have to raise X amount of money. So once you're done watching the episode, you can essentially put up your own money for the show to get made. As low as $1.99, and I think as high as I saw was $6.99, or it could be more than that maybe. But you can, I think it was maybe $11.99. But you can put your own money forward for the show to get made. And it looks like they're going to try and make 6 more episodes besides the first episode. And that's kind of what their goal is. So I watched the episode, and I've seen the comments of people who watched it, and like I said, I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. I enjoy his movies. I enjoy his podcasts. Again, he's had some hits and misses, but this, to me, it was. I really went into this thinking, okay, he's gonna get this. He's become a big podhead over the last 10 years. He understands the community. He knows what's funny. He knows pop culture. I mean, that's kind of what the show is. It's Kevin Smith, referencing pop culture, but trying to have a story. It's a Kevin Smith film, or not film, but you can tell it's Kevin Smith writing. with his references and his fast talking and stuff like that. Unfortunately, though, I can't justifiably say, you know what, I want to see more of this show. I just can't. The acting was not great, and it's really pushed a lot by Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is pretty much the main actor. He and Frankie Shaw, I think that's her name, they pretty much pushed the entire episode forward. Going through with the main plot of the pilot episode. Frankie Shaw, I don't know much about her. I don't think she's been in much, and you can see why. Her filmography, according to IMDb, is pretty much nothing that I've really ever watched or heard of, for the most part. And that's going all the way back to the early 2000s, mid 2000s. She showed up on an episode of Law and Order, but besides that, it's not been anything I've ever heard of. I know a lot of people supposedly hear of the Smilf. I guess she's the lead, or one of the leads in that show, but I've never really heard of her or seen her in anything that's worthwhile, especially as a lead. And apologies to her, but she's not that great of an actress, and it really shows on this show, especially the idea of her playing a porn star. I know that not all porn stars are extremely hot, but she's just not that attractive at all, really. And it was kind of off-putting, especially when she's sitting there talking about being a porn star and really getting that aspect of her character out there to Kevin Smith's character. It just didn't feel right. Again, I might be the only one, or a lot of other people could feel that way. But at least from her standpoint, her story arc wasn't terrible. I think if a better actress was there, hey, maybe it could have been a more enticing, plot to the show. Jumping to Kevin Smith's acting, look, he's known for really 2 things: talking a whole shit ton on stage, and being extremely silent in his movies. He's shown up in different movies, Catch and Release, Daredevil, Live Free or Die Hard. Yeah, he's popped up in movies in little roles here and there as an actor. But he something about this this show is I didn't feel it. It didn't seem like he was acting as so much. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. He was overacting in a sense, I guess. And it was hard to get past that. He wasn't. He didn't become a character, and that's what I think was off-putting. I think that's probably the best way to do it. He was going through the motions. He was saying the lines. He was doing the hand movements. He was, doing that, but he wasn't the character. He wasn't that person that I would expect to sit there saying those lines and being that person, which is crazy because those are exactly things that Kevin Smith would say on stage or in his podcast or something like that. But for the show, it just didn't work. And if you watch the episode, I think you might see exactly what I mean and understand exactly what I mean with that. Ralph Garman shows up, for a short little role, and it's Ralph Garman being Ralph Garman. You know, he has a eye patch on, and it looks like he's like an old timey vet. You know, I don't know. Like that's pretty much his character. I didn't really laugh at all during the show. The editing and the directing. Again, I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, but man, it was rough. It was pretty rough, and that may play a part in some of the acting. I don't know. I don't see this show getting pushed forward and getting picked up. Maybe it does. Maybe we get 6 episodes and that's it. I unfortunately, and if Kevin Smith were to ever listen to this, and I'm sure he won't, but if he does, I do apologize. But I can't move forward with that. Again, I love so many of the things that Kevin Smith does, so many of his movies, you know, the episodes of The Flash and Supergirl that he's directed and everything like that. He's done so much that I appreciate and you know, respect everything that he's done, but this show just, it doesn't do it for me. So hopefully, you know, I mean, if it does get picked up, it gets better. I know that he had plans to have his daughter Harley Quinn Smith on it. I know he's, you know, got a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of ideas lined up. It just doesn't happen. I don't know. So with that said, for me, it's definitely something that I would skip if I were you. It's not really that worth it. But then again, it's 25 minutes. It's free. Again, it's on Rivet TV. So you can check it out there. Again, if you're a big Kevin Smith fan, maybe you'll like it. Maybe I'm just too old. Maybe at 33 years old, I'm just too old for that. Or 32. I'm not 33 yet. I'm 32. What am I thinking? Man. Anyway, so with that all, I've been Robert. That's my review of the pilot episode of Hollyweed. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next week.